Question 1. A project manager is defining the high-level scope and initial stakeholders for a new IT infrastructure upgrade. Which project management process group is the project manager primarily working within at this stage? A. Planning. B. Executing. C. Initiating. D. Closing. Answer: C. Initiating. The initiating process group is where a project or a new phase of a project officially begins, focusing on defining and authorizing the project or phase. During this stage, key activities include developing the project charter, identifying initial stakeholders, and broadly defining the project's purpose and high-level scope. This sets the foundation for all subsequent project activities, much like setting the course before embarking on a journey. Understanding this initial phase is crucial because it ensures the project is properly authorized and aligned with organizational objectives from the outset. Question 2. In an Agile project, which role is primarily responsible for maximizing the value of the product resulting from the work of the development team? A. Scrum Master. B. Project Manager. C. Product Owner. D. Stakeholder. Answer: C. Product Owner. The product owner is a key role in Agile methodologies, particularly Scrum, with the primary responsibility for defining and prioritizing the work that the development team will undertake to maximize the value delivered by the product. This role involves managing the product backlog, which is a prioritized list of features and requirements, and clearly communicating what needs to be built. For instance, if developing a new mobile app, the product owner decides which features are most important for early release based on user needs and business value. Remember, the product owner is the voice of the customer and business within the team. Question 3. What is the primary purpose of a work breakdown structure, WBS? A. To define the organizational structure for the project team. B. To graphically display the project schedule and dependencies. C. To decompose the project scope into smaller, more manageable components. D. To track the project's financial performance and expenditures. Answer: C. To decompose the project scope into smaller, more manageable components. A work breakdown structure, WBS, is a hierarchical decomposition of the total scope of work to be carried out by the project team to accomplish project objectives and create the required deliverables. It breaks down large project deliverables into smaller, more manageable work packages, making it easier to plan, estimate, and track progress. For example, building a house might have a WBS with levels for foundation, framing, roofing, and then further subcomponents within each. The WBS serves as a foundational tool for defining exactly what work needs to be done. Question 4. A project team is conducting regular meetings to review progress, identify impediments, and plan for the next short iteration of work. Which project management approach are they most likely following? A. Predictive. B. Waterfall. C. Hybrid. D. Agile. Answer: D. Agile. The description of regular meetings to review progress, identify impediments, and plan for short iterations, often called sprints or iterations, is characteristic of Agile project management. Agile approaches emphasize iterative development, flexibility, collaboration, and continuous improvement through frequent inspections and adaptations. In contrast, predictive, waterfall, approaches typically follow a more linear, sequential process. Thinking about Agile as a series of short, mini-projects helps in understanding its iterative nature. Question 5. Which document formally authorizes the existence of a project and gives the project manager the authority to apply organizational resources to project activities? A. Project Management Plan. B. Project Charter. C. Scope Statement. D. Stakeholder Register. Answer: B. Project Charter. The project charter is a crucial document that formally initiates a project or a phase and grants the project manager the authority to assign organizational resources to the project. It provides a high-level overview of the project's objectives, scope, and key stakeholders, serving as an official agreement between the project sponsor and the project manager. Without a signed project charter, a project technically doesn't have official authorization to proceed. Always remember, the project charter is your official go-ahead to begin working on the project. Question 6. What is the primary benefit of conducting a lessons learned session at the end of a project or phase? A. To assign blame for project failures. B. To celebrate project success and team achievements. C. To improve future project performance by documenting experiences. D. To determine the final budget reconciliation. Answer: C. To improve future project performance by documenting experiences. Lessons learned sessions, typically conducted during the closing process group, are vital for continuous improvement in an organization. Their primary benefit is to systematically identify, document, and disseminate what went well, what went wrong, and what could have been done differently during a project. This knowledge helps future project teams avoid similar mistakes and replicate successful strategies, much like a chef refining a recipe based on past cooking experiences. Always view lessons learned as a valuable investment in future success. Question 7. A project manager is reviewing a deliverable to ensure it meets the specified requirements and quality standards before it is formally accepted. Which quality management process is being performed? A. Plan quality management. B. Perform quality assurance. C. Control quality. D. Manage quality. Answer: C. Control quality. Control quality is the process of monitoring and recording results of executing the quality activities to assess performance and recommend necessary changes. This involves inspecting deliverables to ensure they meet the defined quality standards and requirements, often using tools like checklists or statistical sampling. For example, checking if a software module functions exactly as specified before it's released is a control quality activity. This process is about verifying correctness and compliance, making sure the actual output matches the planned quality. Question 8. What is the main purpose of a risk register in project management? A. To document completed risks and their outcomes. B. To list all identified risks, their potential impacts, and planned responses. C. To determine the overall risk tolerance of the organization. D. To establish the project's contingency reserves. Answer: B. To list all identified risks, their potential impacts, and planned responses. The risk register is a central repository for all identified risks throughout the project lifecycle. It typically includes a description of each risk, its potential causes, the likelihood of it occurring, its potential impact on project objectives, and planned response strategies, e.g., mitigation, avoidance, transference, acceptance. For instance, if a project identifies unavailability of a key expert as a risk, the register would document this and propose a plan like cross-train another team member. It's a living document that helps project teams proactively manage uncertainties. Question 9. In which organizational structure does the project manager have the most authority and control over project resources? A. Functional. B. Matrix, weak. C. Matrix, balanced. D. Projectized. Answer: D. Projectized. In a projectized organizational structure, the project manager holds significant authority and directly controls project resources, often having a dedicated team that reports solely to the project manager. This structure is characterized by teams being organized around specific projects, and once a project is completed, the team may be disbanded or assigned to a new project. For instance, in a construction company where each building project has its own dedicated project manager and full-time team, that's a projectized structure. This contrasts with functional organizations where team members report to a functional manager and work on projects part-time. Question 10. When a project manager is dealing with a significant change request that impacts the project's scope, schedule, and cost, which of the following is the most appropriate first step? A. Implement the change immediately to avoid delays. B. Reject the change, as changes are disruptive. C. Perform an integrated change control process. D. Inform the team to estimate the impact without further analysis. Answer: C. Perform an integrated change control process. When faced with a significant change request, the most appropriate first step is to perform an integrated change control process. This process involves reviewing all change requests, approving changes, and managing changes to deliverables, organizational process assets, and the project management plan. It ensures that all potential impacts, positive and negative, on scope, schedule, cost, quality, and resources are thoroughly analyzed before a decision is made, often involving a change control board. This structured approach prevents hasty decisions that could derail the project. Question 11. Which of the following is a common output of the planned communications management process? A. Performance reports. B. Project management plan. C. Communications management plan. D. Stakeholder register. Answer: C. Communications management plan. The planned communications management process involves developing an appropriate approach and plan for project communications based on the information needs of each stakeholder or group, available organizational assets, and the needs of the project. The primary output of this process is the communications management plan, which details how, when, by whom, and with whom project information will be exchanged. For example, it might specify weekly team meetings, monthly sponsor reports, and an email for urgent updates. This plan ensures that crucial information reaches the right people at the right time. Question 12. A project manager uses a Gantt chart to display tasks, durations, and dependencies visually. Which knowledge area is this tool primarily used for? A. Project cost management. B. Project scope management. C. Project schedule management. D. Project resource management. Answer: C. Project schedule management. A Gantt chart is a widely used bar chart that illustrates a project schedule, showing the start and finish dates of the various activities in a project. It is a fundamental tool in project schedule management, allowing project managers to visualize task durations, dependencies, and overall project timelines. For instance, you can see how building the walls of a house must finish before the roof can be started. It helps in tracking progress and identifying potential delays, making it an essential visual aid for scheduling. Question 13. Which of the following is an example of an operational activity, rather than a project activity? A. Developing a new software application for customers. B. Implementing a new customer feedback system in the call center. C. Handling daily customer service inquiries. D. Constructing a new branch office building. Answer: C. Handling daily customer service inquiries. Projects are temporary endeavors undertaken to create a unique product, service, or result, meaning they have a definite beginning and end. In contrast, operational activities are ongoing, repetitive functions performed to sustain the business, without a distinct end date. Handling daily customer service inquiries is a routine, ongoing activity that keeps the business running, making it an operational activity, unlike the other options which describe temporary efforts to create something new. Understanding this distinction is key to identifying what constitutes a project. Question 14. What is the primary purpose of the project management plan? A. To document the project's historical information. B. To provide a baseline for project performance measurement. C. To guide project execution, monitoring, and control. D. To formally authorize the project or phase. Answer: C. To guide project execution, monitoring, and control. The project management plan is the comprehensive document that defines how the project will be executed, monitored, controlled, and closed. It integrates and consolidates all subsidiary management plans, e.g., scope, schedule, cost, quality, risk plans, and baselines, serving as the blueprint for the entire project. For example, it specifies how project changes will be managed, how quality will be ensured, and how progress will be measured. It's essentially the project manager's detailed roadmap for success. Question 15. In an Agile context, what is a daily scrum or daily stand-up primarily used for? A. To update the project manager on individual tasks. B. To resolve all team conflicts and technical issues. C. To inspect progress toward the sprint goal and adapt the sprint backlog. D. To present completed deliverables to stakeholders for approval. Answer: C. To inspect progress toward the sprint goal and adapt the sprint backlog. The daily scrum or daily stand-up is a short, time-boxed meeting in Agile frameworks like Scrum, typically held at the same time and place each day. Its primary purpose is for the development team to synchronize activities and create a plan for the next 24 hours, inspecting progress towards the sprint goal and making necessary adjustments to the sprint backlog. This meeting focuses on answering what was done yesterday, what will be done today, and any impediments, fostering transparency and quick problem solving within the team. Question 16. A project manager is conducting meetings with stakeholders to understand their needs and requirements for a new product. Which process is being performed? A. Validate scope. B. Define scope. C. Collect requirements. D. Create WBS. Answer: C. Collect requirements. The collect requirements process involves determining, documenting, and managing stakeholder needs and requirements to meet project objectives. This crucial phase ensures that the project team understands what they need to build or deliver from the perspective of all relevant parties. For example, conducting interviews, surveys, or workshops with potential users to understand their desired features for a new app falls under this process. Thorough requirements collection is vital to avoid scope creep and ensure the final product meets expectations. Question 17. Which document outlines the procedures for how potential project risks will be identified, analyzed, and responded to? A. Risk Register. B. Risk Report. C. Risk Management Plan. D. Project Charter. Answer: C. Risk Management Plan. The Risk Management Plan is a component of the Project Management Plan that describes how risk management activities will be structured and performed on the project. It defines the methodologies, roles and responsibilities, budget, timing, and categories for risk, among other things. Unlike the Risk Register, which lists individual risks, the Risk Management Plan details the approach to managing risks, much like a rulebook for how the team will handle all uncertainties throughout the project. It establishes the framework for effective risk management. Question 18. What is the purpose of conducting a stakeholder analysis? A. To determine the project budget. B. To identify all individuals or groups impacted by the project and their interests. C. To finalize the project schedule. D. To select the project team members. Answer: B. To identify all individuals or groups impacted by the project and their interests. Stakeholder analysis is a process that involves systematically identifying all individuals, groups, or organizations who could impact or be impacted by a project, and then analyzing their interest, influence, and involvement. The purpose is to understand their expectations and potential impact on the project, enabling the project manager to develop effective engagement strategies. For example, identifying the local community as a stakeholder for a new bridge construction project and understanding their concerns about noise. This analysis is crucial for building good relationships and ensuring project success. Question 19. A project manager is presenting the completed project deliverables to the customer for formal acceptance. In which project management process group does this activity occur? A. Planning. B. Executing. C. Monitoring and controlling. D. Closing. Answer: D. Closing. The closing process group is where all activities for the project, phase, or contract are formally completed. This includes obtaining formal acceptance of the final product, service, or result from the customer or sponsor, ensuring all agreements are finalized, and releasing team resources. It's the official wrap-up of the project, much like signing off on the final paperwork after purchasing a new car. Formal acceptance signifies that the project objectives have been met and the customer is satisfied. Question 20. What is the primary characteristic of a predictive project life cycle? A. It emphasizes rapid iterations and continuous feedback. B. It requires a detailed plan to be in place early in the project. C. It adapts well to high levels of change and uncertainty. D. It prioritizes customer collaboration over contract negotiation. Answer: B. It requires a detailed plan to be in place early in the project. A predictive project life cycle, often associated with the waterfall method, is characterized by a sequential approach where a detailed plan is developed early in the project before significant work begins. This approach assumes that the project requirements are stable and well understood from the outset, allowing for a comprehensive plan for scope, schedule, and cost. For example, building a skyscraper often follows a predictive approach due to fixed designs and regulations. This structured planning aims to minimize changes as the project progresses. Question 21. Which of the following is a key element of the PMI Code of Ethics and Professional Conduct, emphasizing truthful and accurate communication? A. Respect. B. Responsibility. C. Fairness. D. Honesty. Answer: D. Honesty. The PMI Code of Ethics and Professional Conduct outlines 4 foundational values for project management professionals: responsibility, respect, fairness, and honesty. Honesty specifically refers to the obligation to understand the truth and act in a truthful manner, including providing accurate and timely information. For example, if a project is behind schedule, honesty dictates that the project manager communicates this reality to stakeholders rather than concealing it. Upholding honesty builds trust and ensures transparency in all project communications and actions. Question 22. What is the main purpose of creating a resource breakdown structure, RBS? A. To break down the project schedule into manageable activities. B. To identify the financial costs associated with each project resource. C. To hierarchically list and categorize project resources by type and function. D. To define the communication paths for resource allocation. Answer: C. To hierarchically list and categorize project resources by type and function. A resource breakdown structure, RBS, is a hierarchical list of resources by category and type, useful for organizing and managing project resources. It helps in planning, acquiring, and controlling physical resources, like equipment and materials, and team resources, like specific skills or roles. For instance, an RBS for a software project might categorize resources as software developers, testers, designers, and then further break them down by specific programming languages or expertise. This structure provides a clear overview of all necessary resources. Question 23. A project manager is conducting a kickoff meeting with the project team and key stakeholders. Which stage of the project life cycle does this meeting typically occur in? A. Closing. B. Executing. C. Monitoring and controlling. D. Initiating. Answer: B. Executing. While the project charter authorizes a project in the initiating phase, the kickoff meeting typically occurs at the beginning of the executing process group. It serves to formally start the project work, ensure everyone is aligned on objectives, scope, and roles, and build team cohesion. It's the moment when the team officially begins to carry out the work defined in the planning phase, similar to a team huddle before the game officially starts. This meeting is crucial for setting the stage for successful project execution. Question 24. What is the definition of a milestone in project schedule management? A. A project task that has no duration but signifies a significant event. B. A task that consumes the most resources on the critical path. C. A regular project meeting to review progress. D. The shortest possible duration for a project activity. Answer: A. A project task that has no duration but signifies a significant event. A milestone is a significant point or event in a project schedule that has zero duration. It represents a key achievement, a major decision point, or the completion of a major phase of work. For example, foundation completed or design approved by client are common project milestones. Milestones are useful for tracking progress and communicating project status to stakeholders because they represent tangible markers of advancement, even though no work is directly performed at the milestone itself. Question 25. Which of the following best describes the role of a sponsor in a project? A. The person responsible for the day-to-day management of the project team. B. The individual or group who provides the financial resources for the project. C. The primary user of the project's product or service. D. The person responsible for creating the project schedule. Answer: B. The individual or group who provides the financial resources for the project. The project sponsor is a critical role, typically an executive or senior manager, who provides the financial resources for the project, champions the project, and provides high-level direction and support. They are often the ultimate authority for the project and act as a key advocate, helping to remove obstacles and resolve high-level issues. For instance, the CEO who allocates budget for a new product development project is acting as its sponsor. The sponsor's commitment and support are vital for project success.